So you decide to play MapleStory, and today you're feeling saucy. You're feeling brave. And by brave, I mean choosing the class that gets punched in the face for a living. At first glance, Warrior feels like the caveman pick, but I'm here to say they might actually be the most big brain class in all of classic MapleStory. To reach their highest potential, they need more planning, patience, and mechanical control than they get credit for. We're gonna cover it all, along with what Classic World is doing that might change their story forever. This is the journey of the Warrior. Upon creating your character, you're dealt the same hand every Mapler gets. 25 ability points you can freely distribute among Strength, Dex, Int, and Luck. The highest any one stat can roll is 13, and the lowest is 4. As a Warrior, you're pretty much set as long as the stats you don't want are both 4. But all my real homies keep smashing that red die until the stats look like this. Pure, unadulterated power. Now, I know I said they need a lot of planning, and this might seem to go against that. Going full strength is definitely full unga bunga. But this is just the first step in the Warrior's journey. And for this step, the objective is simple. Get the heck out of here. Here, they don't suffer the pitiful damage swings of magicians, nor the middling damage of thieves or archers. Nope, on Maple Island, Warriors have the easiest time of all. You're free to pump strength every time you level up, and the results speak for themselves. You tear through the place. Even the red shell from 3 Snail Shell only deals 40 damage. It's nothing compared to your effortlessly high damage. So yeah, Maple Island goes fast. Enjoy it while it lasts, because you're a big fish in a very small pond. You'll board that boat to Victoria Island, and soon discover that your fate is bound to shift from comfort to pain. Once you make your way up to the northern part of Victoria Island, you arrive at the place where warriors are forged. The arid, unforgiving heights of Parion. This place is immediately distinct. The terrain is a series of dry, sun-baked plateaus that stretch so high they look like stone skyscrapers across the horizon. An ocean of clouds rushes past below, and it gives Parion a sense of isolation and danger. It's only right for the start of a warrior's journey, because you have to imagine, for a people to carve their home into these treacherous cliffs, they clearly aren't afraid of a challenge. The music has a tribal, combative sound, and it's appropriately named Nightmare. Yep, that's what you're in for. But you laugh in the face of danger. You climb the steep rocks up the highest peak and enter the Warrior Sanctuary. The stone building here was carved with care. It displays a sense of reverence for the great warriors of the past. Dances with Balrog meditates here endlessly, awaiting all who dare follow in his footsteps. Before you can even introduce yourself, he simply asks, "Hey, you want to be a warrior?" He looks you up and down to see if you have what it takes, and he bestows upon you the mantle of warrior. Oh, no? Are you serious? He bestows upon you the mantle of Sword Man. Congratulations! Along with this prestigious title, you're given 1 skill point. Let's see how you'll spend it. This is your skill book. Let me separate it for simplicity. On the left side here, we have your passive or buff skills, and on the right, your attacks. You can only put your 1 point into improved HP recovery or into Power Strike. Power Strike is exactly what it sounds like, a stronger version of your regular swing. It even adds this cool little swing sound at the start of your attacks. But any sensible warrior takes the patient route and puts that first point into improved HP recovery. Because once you get it to level 5, you unlock this game-changing skill, improved max HP increase. Traditionally, maxing this skill is the highest priority for the warrior. As the only exclusively melee class, you're gonna get hit a lot. By default, warriors gain between 24 to 28 HP per level. Improving max HP increase adds a flat bonus on top of that. Let's lay it out so you can see how powerful this is over the course of your Maple career. You start as a level 10 beginner with, let's say, 176 HP. Job advancing gives you a bonus 225, putting a fresh warrior at roughly 401 HP. Following the traditional build, you'll have this skill maxed before you hit level 16, at around 657 HP. From here, every level gives you roughly 66 HP. By level 30, you'll be sitting at a fat 1,581. Then you job advance again, get another bonus, and grind to level 70. Your HP is now over 4,500. Job advance again, get another bonus, and climb to level 120. Now your HP is well over 8,000. That's enormous. Without this skill, your HP wouldn't even be half of that. Now, I want to pause and address a tiny elephant in the room. Classic World might change this. A big asterisk here, it's all subject to change, but playtesters have discovered that this skill has been reworked from a flat bonus to a percent-based increase that maxes at 20%. This is huge, because it completely changes your early trajectory as a warrior. Suddenly, this becomes a skill you'd probably max near the end of first job, so you can focus on damage instead. Awesome, it's a buff, right? Well, I'm not actually sure. Again, this is all up in the air, but let's compare how this extra 20% would perform. Let's revisit our graph and adjust the values to reflect a world without the flat HP increase. At level 120, your total HP would be just under 4,000. Now, let's add our new plus 20% to those numbers. And, oh, look at that. Your new total at level 120 is just over 4,600. That's around the same HP you had with the old skill at level 70. So actually, it's feeling kind of like a nerf, unless there are going to be some hidden changes that compensate for it in a big way. Unfortunately, the only footage available right now shows characters locked at level 50, so it's impossible to say whether HP per level has been changed from vanilla. Now that you're official, it's time to find a place to train. You could go to a popular place like Hennessy's Hunting Grounds, or you could take the path that's laid right at your front door. This is Perion's Street Corner. It's a long, flat map with 2 tiers. The top one has snails and the occasional dark stump for people just passing through. But below, a horde of stumps awaits you. They're perfect for your level, and their tree branches are used in a bunch of early game quests, so your time here is well spent. They've got a nice crunchy hit sound, and they move extremely slowly, which makes them easy to chop down. You can pretty much stay here until you finish max HP increase. Then, you're finally free to work on your attacking skills. Power Strike is nice, and you'll max it eventually, but not yet, because with just 1 point, you'll unlock your true bread and butter, Slash Blast. Only warriors get access to spammy AoE this early, and even underleveled, it goes hard, hitting up to 6 enemies at once. And this skill is well deserved, because without it, warriors wouldn't be much better off than permanent beginners. And the reason is simple: range, or their lack of it. Warriors walk this lonely road as the only class truly locked into full melee. Bandits suffer too, but they can use throwing stars in first job if they want to, and they get haste in second job, so it's not quite the same. Warriors get no such luxury. You don't get to equip a bow, you don't get to zip between mobs like Sonic. As a warrior, you embrace patience. You walk, not run between mobs, and you'll learn exactly how long your swings are. And no matter how careful you are, and trust me, I've tried, you will get hit. You'll get bumped out of range, you'll get knocked off cliffs, and you'll drink more HP pots and eat more unagi than any of your friends. Archers can sit comfy in far ledges, sniping with safety. Thieves have dark sight to run past danger, and they generally run circles around mobs. Magicians enjoy teleport and attacks that go straight through terrain. You won't feel any movement comfort until 4th job when you finally get Rush, if you even make it that far. Warriors are the ones in the back struggling to keep up while the rest of the party zips through maps. But look, it's not all bad. There's a real joy in mastering your circumstances, and you do have ways to make it better. You can jump attack freely, and you'll learn to do it a lot. Jumping while swinging lets you keep momentum and helps you rotate through the map more quickly. You also learn to be creative with how you engage enemies. Do you chop them down one by one? or gather them all up first. Warriors are the only first job that get to enjoy the pure bliss of pulling an entire platform together, then cleaving them down. And two-handed weapons in general make life a little easier with their wider hitboxes. And regardless of which second job you're aiming for, first job lets you use whatever weapon you like. Personally, I always go for the metal axe first thing. You can keep grinding through the Stump family here in Perion, or head to a classic spot like Pig Beach. Either way, you'll max out Slash Blast by level 21. And at this point, you might decide to start doing KPQ. But look, just don't expect to be anything but dead weight for a little while. Cause for the first time as a warrior, you're about to feel the pain of the miss. And that brings me to your other stat, the one you may have completely ignored up until now, Dex. Modern warrior wisdom tells you to dump almost everything into strength and only add dex when you need accuracy. Gear usually fills the gap, helping you hit whatever accuracy breakpoint you need for your level. But back in the day, 12-year-old me was learning how to spend AP from places like sleepywood.net. And thanks to the Wayback Machine, I was able to pull up what was very likely the exact guide I would have followed. This is Killer Ewok's Warrior Encyclopedia, circa 2005. In the ability points section, you can see what was recommended for a typical normal warrior. Using those values, it works out to roughly 3 strength and 2 dex every time you level up. That's what was considered the safe, normal, intended warrior build. Cause accuracy is brutal. If you neglect dex entirely, by level 21, you won't hit a single mob in KPQ. Of course, dexless and low dex builds did exist back then, but most of us didn't touch them. Look, we were broke. We didn't understand accuracy formulas, and we didn't have the resources or knowledge we do now to realize just how big of a difference it makes. Nowadays, low dex is the go-to. We have accuracy calculators, complete databases, and decades of optimization telling us exactly how much dex you need at any level to hit the mobs you want. That usually means capping dex somewhere between 20 and 60. Depending on how much you can scroll onto your gear. You may not like it, but this is what peak efficiency looks like. But before you reach the point where you're wearing that level 35 overall forever, there's a lot of awesome looking gear to enjoy in first job. At level 10, guys get a humble plate body, while girls get a more colorful chain body. Both are topped off with the bronze coif, which is definitely not a coif. A real coif is more like a soft cloth or chainmail hood. Level 15 brings the corporal set for the guys, while girls get their first overall, the steel-fitted mail. But don't get too excited, cause to wear this, you're gonna have to pump in 20 dex points just to equip it. Level 20 upgrades the boys to the sergeant set. It adds a little golden insignia and a kilt. They also get their first overall option with the kendo robes. The martial arts look is a nice break from the Tin Man aesthetic. Girls get the Lamel chainmail set in 3 colors. And this is when warriors finally get the iconic Viking helm, which has a nice arrow to the knee vibe. You might notice that most of the helmets have this pink bronze color. Well, that's because the devs wanted to introduce gear crafting. At Mr. Thunder, you can make steel or mithril versions of these helmets, but the upgrades were tiny. And the plate cost was nuts. By the time you would have gathered the materials, you'd way outlevel the gear. Level 25 is peak warrior fashion. Guys get the Master Sergeant set in silver, purple, and the objectively superior dark version, which gives +3 strength. But that's nothing compared to what the girls get. This is the Sky Shark. It's kind of broken, giving a whopping 12 speed. That's a 30% speed increase. You might want to hold on to this one in second job, because if you throw some scrolls on white bottom shoes, get yourself an Icarus Cape 2, and a bone helm, you could end up with a permanent max speed increase. Level 25 also gives warriors their first full face helmet, the Iron Burger Net helm. It's one of those quirky localization mistakes, because what they definitely meant was the Burgo Net, a common 16th century European helmet. But I like Burger Net better. It completely erases your face, your emotions, your identity. You just become warrior. Level 30 gives guys the Black Dragon Robe, which gives a respectable 3 dex and looks awesome. Girls get the Engrit set, which kind of looks like a Power Ranger suit, but if we're being real, it's pretty hard to follow the Sky Shark. Now, let's talk weapons. If it's sharp or vaguely stick-shaped, River sells it. Swords, axes, maces, spears, polearms, daggers, wrenches, pickaxes, mops. One-handed swords are the only weapon type that has an upgrade every 5 levels, but these two are actually thief swords in disguise. If you can equip these as a warrior, you probably have way too much dex. There are so many weapons to choose from here that you're pretty much always covered no matter what level you are. And since mastery isn't a thing in first job, you're free to try out different weapon types and see what feels right. Now there is one weapon not sold here that every Mapler remembers: the fish spear. It gives an average of 5 accuracy, 5 speed, and it swings really fast for a spear. It solves every early game warrior problem in one smelly stick. In your later 20s, you finally hit a stride. With enough dex, you can actually hit all relevant mobs. You've got good AoE, good single target, and on top of that, you look cool as hell. Power Strike will be maxed by level 28. Your last few points go into the less exciting skills. The traditional route is improved HP recovery. It's not flashy, it just adds a flat bonus to the HP you recover while standing still. Boring, I know, but it adds up. Every time you AFK, every time you stop to talk to someone, that HP ticks up just a little faster. Then there's Endure. It's less useful. All it does is let you recover HP while hanging on ropes or ladders. But to match the regen rate of standing still, you'd have to sink 8 points into it. No thanks. Maybe that's why this skill is getting chopped, because in Classic World, it looks like Endure is being replaced with a new skill, Precise Strikes. When maxed, it would give 50 accuracy and 5% critical rate. This is huge. 50 accuracy is like the equivalent of 62 dex points. That has the potential to completely reshape warrior planning. You could ignore dex entirely, or cap it extremely low. It's a massive quality of life shift. The last remaining skill is Iron Body. Usually, it goes ignored, because the flat weapon defense it gives mitigates a pretty insignificant amount of damage. But don't worry, this one seems to be getting reworked too. In Classic World, it becomes a percent-based defense increase, which means it might actually be worth taking. As exciting as these changes are, it's hard to say how everything will shake out with the information we have now. We only get 61 skill points in first job, and maxing all of these newly useful skills would cost 105 SP. So we might have some tough choices to make. Only time will tell. At level 30, the warrior's journey splits. Fighter, page, and spearman each have their own identity, and their own battles to fight. And we'll cover all of them in a later video. But no matter which path you choose, you'll always share the same roots. The mobility struggles, the accuracy checks, the pain of melee range, and the stubborn pride that defines every warrior. To all of you taking up that mantle in Classic World, I salute you. Videos like this take me a long time to create, and so I just want to take a second and thank my channel members: Speaker Dan, Kevin Tapp, Kairui Zhang, Slothify, Cohen, Crafting Vegito, and all the rest of you. Thank you for your support,